Hey everybody, I want to take a minute to talk about cortisone and cortisol within adrenal function. I did a consultation the other day on a Dutch test, and we were talking about preferencing cortisone versus cortisol, kind of the differences between the two, why you might preference one or the other, things you can do about it, so on and so forth. So this is just really a cliff notes on that, but cortisone is essentially a less potent metabolite, if you will. That's the easiest way to think about it. Generally within the body, cortisone will be converted to cortisol on a kind of as needed basis and vice versa. There's something called 11 beta HSD enzyme. There's two variants of that, one that converts from cortisol to cortisone, and one that converts from cortisone back into cortisol. So things that might influence this conversion back and forth, if you are preferencing, if you're going from cortisol back to cortisone, meaning you would be preferencing cortisone, would be hypothyroid, potentially androgens, so increased androgen levels, increased growth hormone levels. Those things are kind of your primary ones that you might see influence that. On the flip side, you would generally see insulin resistance, perhaps, inflammation, obesity, those types of things take cortisone and convert back to cortisol, or at least kind of activate that process. So if you are someone that is preferencing one or the other, of course fixing the underlying root cause is going to be key. However, a lot of people that preference cortisone specifically will have a hard time with energy levels and stress resilience and things like that, because they just don't have the cortisol they need. And if they already have low cortisol production to begin with, and they preference cortisone at the same time, they're really in a bad position. So some people can benefit from temporarily pushing some of that conversion or some of that cortisone back to cortisol while they kind of bring up their adrenal function. It can help bridge that gap, improve energy levels, improve stress resilience, things like that. So something that we would generally use in that case would be Licorice Root. This is the Biomatrix brand. It is a liquid. I like this brand simply because it is a concentrated brand. It's an extract's more standardized. So this is not DGL that we use for GI issues. DGL removes the component that we need for this activation process to occur. So this is actually 100% licorice root extract in its whole form. So something like this works really well. You can get it on Amazon or wherever, and that would help potentiate that process of converting cortisone back into cortisol if needed. This is something that you really don't want to guess on too much, because you can potentially cause symptoms. And if you are going to use something like this in that process, then you really want to start slow. Like 3 drops is plenty to start, making sure that you're not overactivating cortisol in this case and causing yourself to be too stimulated or anxious or something like that. But essentially that's what that process looked like. Someone had asked me about this again on a consult, so I thought it would be a great little tidbit to share with you guys. If you're interested in everything adrenal related, I do have my Adrenal 101 class, which does cover all of this, as well as pretty much everything else adrenal related: cortisol, cortisone, adrenal hormones, sex hormones, things like that, neurochemistry, neurotransmitters, dopamine, epinephrine, all these things. So if you're interested in that, feel free to reach out. Hope you guys have a great day.